Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good day, wherever you may be this wonderful day. It is the Peter Degedo Show, the Peter Degedo 15-minute clip down of the top stories of the day. Of course, you can always check out the top stories of the day from a Christian libertarian perspective at peterdegedo.com. And like I said, you'll find the best stories from around the web. And what I'm going to focus on today, I think, is what everyone has been talking about. It is Monday, the 25th of September. So Monday is Monday morning quarterbacking around the country as the National Football League and professional football in general, is still considered America's sport. But for how long is the question? I was an avid football fan growing up. I played pee wee football from the age of, I don't know, 7 years old, all the way up until the end of my high school career. And I love football. I loved playing it. I loved watching it. I am a Buckeye, a resident of the fine state of Ohio. So I am, of course, a Ohio State Buckeye fan and a Cleveland Browns fan. Ladies out there, if you have yourself a Cleveland Browns fan, I think you have a true keeper there. I think the only real true sports fan in the world left today are Cleveland Browns fans, as to be a Browns fan means that you are willing to go through significant heartbreak. And they say when you're married to someone for better or worse, it's been a lot of worse for a very long time with the Cleveland Browns, but so is life. But how much longer will the Browns be around? Not just the Cleveland Browns, but the National Football League in particular. And what about football in general? I think that football has gotten itself on a very slippery slope here. If you would have listened to Alex Jones's report today on the NFL, Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the Star-Spangled Banner. Heck, if you've seen LaShawn, aka Shady McCoy, he was actually doing stretches during the national anthem. Uh, is that worse than kneeling? I think it is actually. At first I thought, okay, it's just another thing that trying to get attention, or what more can be said? The man doesn't even think that it's even worth his attention not to kneel, not to stand, hand over the heart, anything. He's just going to continue on with his life as if the Star Spangled Banner, America's national anthem, was not even playing in the background. And I think I got a problem with that more than the kneelers. But to dive back here into the NFL a little bit deeper, I think that they have crossed the line. I think the players have frankly gone too far. Um, this is America's sport, and when you are America's sport, you fall under certain criteria that you as America's sport are going to represent America, all of America, the good and the bad. I love how people think that we do, or no, maybe they don't think we do, that we should live in some kind of utopia where everyone gets along, where the history is perfect. And what these folks don't realize is that history is set. There's no undoing history. Well, I guess maybe I'll take that back a second. Communists may differ with that. Islamists, Muslims in general, they seem to be pretty adept at wiping out history. Cultural Marxism, pretty good at that as well. But as of right now, as people who still have a brain in America, still have some kind of semblance of intelligence, and who can read a book, that is, would know that all history, regardless of the country, the civilization, the tribe, the state, the city you live in, has an underbelly. Doesn't your life have an underbelly as well? Everyone walks around and posts their Facebook like they live the most perfect existence, uh, but they don't. You know, pull back Venetian blind in these folks' apartments and houses and townhomes, and I bet they would be embarrassed and shocked about what we discovered. So I think it's easy for these folks to call out the sins of America to hide their own sins. I mean, we're talking about NFL football players here who are, for the most, I should say for the most part, at least have been represented widely as thuggish, as brutish, as less than intelligent. Go to college a year, I shouldn't say 1 year, 2, 3 years, slide by on their grades. Have you seen the SEC, the Southeastern Conference? I believe some of those universities down there. I think it's just if you play a sport, especially a football or basketball, it's just an assembly line to get you your diploma, or at least to get you through, so you don't, at least on paper, that you're showing good enough grades to get through. But let's be honest here. How many people have gone all the way through college, gone in the NFL, and can't read? Are illiterate? And that's not being hyperbolic. Hyperbolic. Oh, that's a tough one. Hyperbolic. Hyperbolic. There we go. There's the word I'm looking for. Truly, folks, college graduates who come to the NFL and can't read a book because of their athletic aptitude, they've been pushed through their entire lives. But getting back to the NFL here, and Trump was right. The game is different. It's changed so much. I think that we as a people and the players, we had a unspoken agreement. We understood that the game of football was a violent sport, that there would be injuries, and that we would pay you handsomely for that risk, whether it was breaking an arm, breaking a leg, breaking your neck and becoming paralyzed, or the very rare occasion that someone could actually die in the sport. There's risk involved with that, and we were willing to pay to see our modern gladiators go out into the arena, do their best, and win. But not only do the best, but also to put a pretty decent lick on someone. When I was playing football growing up as a kid, man, I loved sticking it to someone, really putting a good hit. It's got the crowd cheering, got the teammates, fired up. That's not the game anymore. The game now is bordering on touch flag football. Do you ever wonder why Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and these guys could go so long these days? Well, it's illegal for them to take shots. It's illegal for them to get hit. Tom Brady is 41 years old, 40 years old, and he's still got his arm, but he's still got his legs too. He hasn't been taking shots below the knees. He hasn't been taking shots to his head, which has allowed him to keep playing. And frankly, I think it's gotten the game stale. You've gotten quarterbacks who can just keep playing year after year after year after year, and it's just the same old story. How many times can we as NFL fans watch the Peyton? I know Peyton Manning's retired, but you get the drift. The Peyton Manning Tom Brady show, or now on the NFC, it's I guess I don't know. Fill in the Aaron Rodgers, I guess, is the next one who will be here probably for the next 50 years. Throwing passes. Oh, but maybe not for 50 years, because again, I don't know if the NFL is going to make it. The American people have had enough. They've had enough of highly, highly, highly paid, privileged people who now live a very privileged life, complaining about racism in the country, police brutality. I wouldn't want to be a police officer, I tell you that. The job that those folks have is difficult, to say the least. And the things that the police officers have to do to secure our protection and freedoms. Now, I know the police go too far sometimes. Me personally, I grew up in a smaller town where the police knew everyone. And you may think I'm a straight and narrow guy right now, but when we're older, we all have some wild oats to sow. We all have a little hell to raise. And so I was a bit of a local celebrity with my local police department, and they treated me unfairly. They would profile me. I'm a white man. How could a white man be profiled? Well, I was profiled. And maybe another time we'll talk about all the reasons why they would profile a person like me, but nevertheless, I was pulled over in my car when I was 18, and I counted in a 30-day period 33 times in 30 days. So I do understand how police go over the edge, go too far, profile people, throw stereotype, put people in a box, and treat them badly, and that is not okay. In fact, those people should be prosecuted. I think bad police should be prosecuted with double punishment because they are the face of our of of civility here in the country. And if our police officers are going to they're going to cross their own lines and take things too far and treat segments of the population in a way that is um, discriminatory, violent, then those police officers, should be prosecuted to the utmost letter of the law. And I would advocate double punishment. Should we have double punishment on those that would assault police officers? I don't know about that. I think we as a citizenry are free citizenry, and so the police, they know what they're signing up for. This whole militarization of the police has got to go. Trump is doing us a disservice by offering more military equipment to our police officers. We're Americans. We are a citizenry. We are not subjects to a king or subjects to the rule of man. We are under the rule of God. We have natural rights of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness enshrined in our declarations of independence and Constitution. So I do understand some of the gripes of some of our African American, our black compatriots, football players. I do not think that protesting during the national anthem is the most wise use of their time. That being said, I think that the reason that Colin Kaepernick does not have a job has nothing to do with that he's black. It has everything to do that he's white. Colin Kaepernick is half white, and I think white people in general are sick of biracial people, trashing and turning their backs on white culture. Uh, he was adopted by white people, grew up in a white family, had the privilege of living as a white person, um, got to go to college, play football, have a stable enough life to be able to pull us all together. And the moment he gets money and fame, he turns his back on us. And so I think that's why white people in general have yet to support Colin Kaepernick. We understand the plight of African Americans, and we understand that they have a unique situation here in the country and something that we've been dealing with for several centuries now. Our biracial Americans, it's complicated for you guys, and I definitely understand that. But I would recommend that for all biracial people to embrace your entire heritage, not just the black, not just the white. Just as me as a Anglo-European, I embrace my Irish roots, my Welsh roots, my French roots, my what they call Black Irish. I think that's Spanish in some kind of way. I'm basically Western European. And I embrace all of those different nuances of my heritage, and I believe that biracial people would do themselves and our country a great service by embracing more of American white culture. It is really a shame that the media and government and Hollywood has driven such a wedge between black and white people, that now we have white culture and black culture. We have American culture. We're Americans, and we need to focus on our American culture. So NFL, you've really stepped in it. I don't know what you're going to do to get out of it. But nevertheless, I wish you the best of luck. I wish my Browns the best of luck, but I really do think this might be the end of the NFL. Colin Kaepernick, I recommend that if you did one thing, voice your support for America and white culture in general. And you would be shocked to see how fast people and Americans in general forgave you and supported you. God bless you, Colin Kaepernick. God bless America, and let us be a united people once again. God bless.